What's up, everyone? Welcome to a True Underground Story podcast. I'm your host, Timmy Burner. Today I'm with XP the Marxman. How you doing today, XP?
Yes, sir. They can find that off of the new shit, man. Pacific Standard Time. You know what I'm saying? Fully produced by Redmatic and DJ D Styles of the legendary BeatJunkies crew, man.
So, tell people a bit about yourself. Where are you from?
Los Angeles. I'm born and raised. Uh, Come from a Mexican household. I'm like third generation, I believe, here. So I speak not too much Spanish, but I can understand it way more than you know what I'm saying. I can speak it and shit. But yeah, man, I'm a product of the streets. You know, these LA streets, I would say, man. You know what I mean? Basically.
What was your childhood like growing up in LA and in a Mexican household?
Oh shit, man. I mean, growing up in the '90s and riding GT bikes, you know, late at night, 10 a.m. Like the curfew was like wait till the lights are out. You know what I mean? And you know, you could come home and shit like that. And it was growing up out here. It was a trip because you know you have the West Coast hip hop scene and you have Snoop and Dre and everything like that happening at that time. And I guess just I guess when you hear stuff happening in tracks and like in hip hop and you're actually like living that shit, you see that shit happening. I don't know, man. It's like a soundtrack, you know, to your life and shit like that. So going through a lot of the shit I say kids went through at that time, man. You know what I'm saying? A product of the broken home, a latchkey kid. You know, my dad wasn't home when I would get home from school, so you know I have to make my own meals. I'd have to make my own shit. You know what I'm saying? Wash my own clothes, did my chores and shit. So growing up was really on some shit where it was you had to fend for yourself almost. You know what I mean? And learn all that shit early on. You know what I mean? And then walking out of the household, I mean, you know, you got gangs, you got drugs, street violence. Yeah, man, it was definitely something that I see now, you know, because I'm a father now, and you know, my son, he's going into high school, and I'm tripping because I'm like, man, when I was entering high school, like I was getting hit up and like and gang banged on, like just walking to school, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, where it is now, like kids are walking in schools and lighting shit up, you know what I mean? So it's crazy, man, like seeing how shit's changed, you know, right in front of your eyes, you know, and now that you're a father, you know, you kind of really see shit in a different context than it was just yourself, you know. But yeah, man, the growing up in the '90s in LA was rough, man. You know, like I said, you know, there was shit happening all the time. You know, my parents are from an LA street gang, so a lot of that shit was just right in front of my face, man. You know what I mean? There was nothing that I really had to look for. You know what I mean? I didn't have to go look for the gangs or, you know, go look for the drugs, go look for the excitement of the streets. It was like right there in front of me. So I'm a product of all that shit, you know?
Damn. How long have you been making music now?
I want to say, well, I can remember when I wrote my first rap. So that was like in '98, high school shit. You know, I think I was in the ninth grade. And I wrote my first rap during one of my classes. And then during nutrition, I just went out and I spit my bars, you know, for the homies and shit. And you know, they was fucking with it. So from that day forth, I just kept moving with it. And I guess listening to hip hop at that time, there was a variation of, you know, Cash Money was just on the rise, but you had Wu-Tang, you know, Wu-Tang Forever had I think dropped in like '96, but it was still, you know, bubbling. Like you could drop an album and that shit would bubble for years, you know, and
Yeah.
you pick up new fans, you know, years after you drop some shit, and you wouldn't have to drop for like another, you know, few years and shit. So around that time, I was listening to Wu-Tang and real, I want to say lyricism, because like I said, you had the Cash Moneys, you had like Nelly, popping off, and like, the South was really uprising at that time, and the game was really fluctuating towards club shit, because you had, Bad Boy and you had club shit hitting, but like in terms of the South ruling the club scene at that time, that's when the shit was really happening. So I saw a lot of cats that wanted to rap. They were turning into what you would say like mainstream artists are now. You know what I mean? They kind of rap about what's happening in terms of like the flashy shit, the flashy lifestyle and shit. But I guess listening to Wu-Tang really opened me up to the underground, because I guess searching for more of that raw, beat, raw lyricism, it led me into the boot camp clique. It led me into a Gangstar and just a lot of that shit, man. So growing up, yeah, man, I say, molding my sound would be the 90s hip hop and shit. So writing my first rap in 98, that was, the sound I was really trying to go for was that raw underground shit, I wasn't trying to be like, I'm up in the club and like, I don't remember my first rap, but I could honestly say it wasn't about no fucking flashy shit, you know what I mean? It was also like lyrical, spiritual shit, lyrical, spiritual, miracle shit, real.
How did you come up with your stage name, XP the Marxman?
That's from my homie, man. Rest in peace, my homie Andre. It used to be Express, and then I chopped it down to XP because my homie used to call me XP, and he's no longer with us. So in his memory, I just hold it forth, and that's who I am. And then the Marxman just kind of got added because every time I write some shit or I pin some shit down, it's just accurate and precise, and on point. So it just, it gave birth to XP the Marksman, pretty much.
So you had mentioned earlier your new album, Pacific Standard Time, was all done by BeatJunkies. How did you end up meeting up with BeatJunkies to get all this work done together?
Well, man, I've always been a fan of the BeatJunkies, man, since I was a youngster, and I used to freestyle to Redmatic beats in a hot ass garage here in the valley and shit, so for that shit to come full circle like that, it was a blessing, man. And I did a show opening up for Roc Marciano with Underground Hip Hop Blog. I want to say like 4 to like 5 years ago almost now. And opening up, Redmatic was Roc's DJ that day. And I seen him in the green room. I seen him in the back and shit. I was like, yo, Red, what's up? And he was like, yo, I've been checking out your stuff. Your shit is dope. And I was like, oh, shit, cool. Like, that's what's up, So we killed the show. The show was dope. And as the show was ending, I seen him outside, and I was like, yo, Red, like, what's poppin', man? We should get some shit. He's like, yeah, for sure. I'll shoot you something, man, So he, usually when you chop it up with fools and you're like, yo, let's do something, it either transpires or it takes a little bit of time or something like that. But he definitely, tapped in early on. So when he did that, he shot a few beats through, and I went to work. And this was right before the COVID happened. So I shot over the 2 beats. He shot me some more beats. I scrapped a few more, and then COVID hit. So shit, it kind of got put on the back burner for at least 1.5 years to like 2 years. So then I got back to it as shit started opening up. And then once, I started going in on those beats, he said that D Styles wanted to come in on the project as well. So I was like, shit, that's even iller and shit, you know what I mean? So I got beats from him, and then we just started working on stuff, man, and yeah, it should just honestly, it happened really quick, but it happened in a few years. You know, it happened through a process. It didn't just happen, you know, because of just, you know, circumstances and timelines and schedules and shit. But yeah, man, we're here now, man. We got the vinyl, we got the tape, we got a full remix album. So it's almost like we dropped two albums on them, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you know, the remix album has mad producers on it, and they killed the shit. So it's like it gives it a whole new feel, you know, the whole album. So yeah, man, that's pretty much how it happened. You know, sometimes you just have to shoot that shot, you know. Um, and whether you get a no or a yes, at least you can say, you know, fuck it. I shot the shot. It worked. It didn't work. Shit. At least I say I tried. You know. So,
Yeah.
but I think at this point in my career, I think when I ask fools, you know, like you want to work and shit, you know, they're with it because I think they see, you know, the determination and the work ethic, you know, the quality of work that I put out. I think they're with it. You know, they want to attach their name and their brand to what I've been doing because, you know, that's the whole thing, man. I think you build yourself up to a certain point, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people want to fuck with you, you know what I'm saying? And people will tap in and be like, yo, you know, I want to work with you. But at the same time, the shit has to make sense, you know what I mean? Like, the shit has to be equal, I guess, in terms of skill and work ethic, man. You know, the BeatJunkies, they work hard and you know, their name has a quality to it, and it has a how would you say, you know, they built it up to a point where, you know, people tap in to what they're doing. So when you reach out to people like that, you want to make sure that you're on some equal grounds with them because if I was just an artist that he heard, he's like, oh yeah, you know, your shit's dope, and then I asked him and he wasn't really, you know, feeling you know, the work ethic or just everything that, you know, goes along with it. You know, the rejection, you know, is real sometimes, you know, and it's not that motherfuckers don't like you or they don't like what you're doing. They just feel that you need to be at a space to meet them equally because, you know, this shit takes hard work, man. This shit takes money, time, and sacrifice to build yourself up to a name where motherfuckers want to fuck with you. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you have to respect that shit. And when you come into that, asking to work with another individual that's on the same premises, you know, you want to be able to work with them and show them what you can do on your side. So when we came together for the collaboration, it was a text thread that just had ideas and you know, we're shooting back, you know, different names that we can name the album, who we want on the album, how we want the cover art to be, what we want to invest in, whether it be hard copies or whether we want to invest in, you know, promotion. So there's a lot of things that come in after the fact of a collaboration. It's more of a thing of how are we going to do this, you know, because we can make an ill song. That's dope. Like anybody could link up and make a dope track. But if you want to make something that is significant and is memorable, you want to be able to come together and connect minds, resources, and pull all that shit into an eggshell and fucking, you know, make an omelet. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is, man. You know, it's bringing everything to the table to see what we have and see what type of meal we could cook up, you know, for the public. And the people been fucking with it, man. I've been getting a good response on just everything. You know, the whole layout of the album, the merch, the cover art, the remix album, just everything, man. And I feel like usually what I would do, I would have a follow-up either EP or album ready to go after a release. But I felt with this one, I want to let it bubble for a bit because I feel like we dropped two albums, man, you know. So
Yeah.
I want folks to really get a chance, you know, to soak it up. And, you know, I've been doing a lot of, you know, live sets and live shows with all the new material. So I want people to really grasp this project, whether they catch the live show or whether they get a hard copy or they support it on all the streaming sites. I just feel like now's my chance, you know, to hit the live show sector up and just really kill that shit with all this new material that I've been releasing, pretty much, you know.
Yeah, I will say, like, the cover art, it's not like super flashy. But it's dope at the same time. Like, it's simple but dope. 'Cause you got
Right.
chucks, you got weed, watch, stacks of money, rounds laying around. It's a
You
dope
got some
cover.
drink, you know, you got some drink there. Yeah, so I feel like, you know, Pacific Standard Time, I guess that's it. Exactly what we did is what, you know, we put everything in a nutshell and just, it's on the cover, you know, when you come to LA, I say, because I represent for the West Coast, you know, up north, all the way to down south. I represent, you know, the whole left end of the spectrum. And I feel Pacific Standard Time, not only does it have to do with where I'm from, but that shit could relate to anybody that's on this side that has the weather, the weed, you know what I mean? And just, I wanted to encapsulate where I'm from. You know, I represent for the Mexican side of shit. So I wanted to really put, you know, sound bites in there. And you know, there's a lot of innuendos leading into who I am as a person, you know, personally. And so yeah, everything you see on the cover is exactly, you know, what this shit is about, bro, you know? So it speaks for itself at the end of the day.
Now, you said you had met BeatJunkies at a Roc
Shout out to
Marciano.
my, you know, big twin. Now, what was that? Sorry?
You said you had met BeatJunkies at Roc Marciano's concert.
Right.
How did you link up with him? Because I see that you guys have multiple photos together. Was that like doing that show also how you built your relationship with him?
Well, actually, man, shout out to my homie Twin. He's actually on the live feed. He's the one that introduced me to Roc Marci at one of his shows and shit. And yeah, man, it's just another one of those situations where you have to shoot that shot, you know, and that's what I did. And you know, shout out to Marcy, man, because he don't really fuck with a lot of people, you know. So I feel like just to be able to work with dude is a blessing, man. And you know, the people that I work with, a lot of them are very secluded in what they do musically. So I feel being able to work with them is you know, it makes me feel that I'm doing something right. I'm on the right path. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of doubt, you know, that comes with this shit, bro. You know, as an artist, you know, shit gets slow sometimes. You know, sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. So through that, man, I feel like inspiration comes from a lot of my people, you know, and seeing what they're doing, whether it be with the music, whether it be with a business endeavor. They always keep me inspired, man, in many ways, you know. So I feel having people like Roc, Twin, you know, Sick Jackin', you know, shout out to my G, just a lot of the people that I've been surrounding myself with, you know, BeatJunkies as well. They're super secluded in who they fuck with, man, and just to be amongst them, mentioned amongst them, and have music with them is you know, it's just it's a mind blower for me sometimes too, man, because I'm a fan first, you know, before I am a artist. So I take everything in stride, and I take everything as a blessing, man, because this shit isn't promised, and this shit, it takes hard work, like I said. So just to be able to have any recognition mentioned amongst them people, man, is you know, that's a blessing for me, man. Real talk.
So what was some of the music, I know we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but what was some of the music you kind of grew up listening to? Like, what did your family have you like listening to when you were a kid?
Growing up, I listened to a lot of classic rock. You know, The Doors, Leonard Skinner, shit, all types of shit, man. You know, Metallica. But also, you know, my dad, he was, you know, he was like a lowrider too. So we listen to oldies a lot, and rap as well. But my dad liked that super like gangster shit. So we're listening to Ice Cube, Eazy-E, Snoop, Tupac, so we listened to a lot of like the gangster shit that was out, but also oldies, classic rock and shit. Like I said, there was a mixture of shit that was on the radio too, as well. So it was a lot of maybe what was out at that time. Because I feel at that time music was a little better. It's not what you hear on the radios right now, where you change the channel and you hear the same fucking song on every. It's
Yeah.
like there was a variety of shit, and like R&B was actual R&B. Fools actually singing and shit. It wasn't like R&B dude trying to rap. And, what I mean? It was like there was strict lines between genres. Now it's just there's like you don't know what the fuck is what nowadays. So I feel growing up, man, there was just a broad spectrum of a lot of good music that I took into consideration that I still listen to this day. Like even on my off time, bro. Like one of the questions I remember you asked me if I listen to what do I listen to that's current right now. And honestly, man, I don't really listen to a lot of shit. You know what I mean? I don't have I just have my ears tuned into like shit that I feel has more of a meaning and a feeling. Because sometimes when I throw on throwback shit, I hear new shit. I hear new tracks that I like. I hear new melodies within the track. I hear, it's crazy how much music is out that can inspire you. And me, I'm a sponge, so I feel if I do turn on some shit that's current, I'm gonna end up not trying to sound like that, but I'm gonna end up trying to rap over a beat like that or flex
Right.
how I flex over some shit like that. Yeah, and I'm down with that. I'm an artist, bro. I'll do whatever the fuck. I could write to anything, I would say, but I feel with that being said, the music that I grew up on is really what I listen to right now. The Red Hot Chili Peppers, like just ill shit that I feel like because I feel I'm like a hippie at heart. You know what I'm saying? I'm like an urban hippie, man. Like I have a real strong connection with energy and shit like that. So I really take heed to what the music is giving me and what I want to receive from it. And I feel a lot of the classic shit gives me what I want in terms of feeling, subject matter, instrumentation. It just, the newer shit is to me is like, that shit has to really be inspiring. And it's crazy because a lot of the newer shit that comes out that I fuck with has to sound vintage. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm still getting that, vintage energy out of it. So, yeah, man. I'm a hippie at heart, bro. I'm a straight urban hippie, bro. You know what I mean?
What inspired you in like the ninth grade to write your first rap and then to later on in life pursue making music like
Right.
this?
Well, I had a chat with the homie about this on a podcast and shit, and it's a trip because I guess when I wrote my first rap in ninth grade, I didn't know that I was, signing my life over to hip hop. You know what I mean? Because I guess when I wrote that first rap and everybody fuck with it, I just, I was like, I want to do this, And even as a kid, I would see it on TV, watching MTV and seeing other artists on TV, and I was like, I want to do that. And once I wrote my rap and people wanted to fuck with it, I started pursuing it. And I think now I look back years later, I could say decades now later. It's been over 20 years, I wanna say that the inspiration to write now comes with people still wanting to hear me, because like I said, man, as an artist, this shit gets slow sometimes. You know what I mean? That the inspiration, is either drained or needs to be refilled constantly. So I feel life experiences and putting yourself out there to either win or lose and learn, I think comes with how you write your music, you know. And I think my life growing up, living a raw, gritty life, having to do with drugs and violence and just shit like that, led me to be able to express myself doing the raw hip hop. Because, you know, I mean, unless I knew how to really hit notes and sing shit, I probably would have been an R&B artist that was singing some real street shit, you know, like almost on some like Nate Dogg shit, you know what I mean? But I felt like growing up, attaching myself to real raw street life raps, you know, like real, you know, shit that people are scribing down from either shit that they went through or shit that they know somebody went through or they're going through. I felt like that was the best way for me to express my stories, was attach myself to the raw street reality rap shit. And, you know, through the course of that, it just led me to where I'm at now, you know, into the raw, you know, sector of hip hop, I would say, you know, into the raw underground reality rap shit, you know.
I feel that. What did your like friends and your family think when you started like pursuing music heavily and putting all your time and effort into a hip hop career?
That's a hard one because a lot of the people that believe in me now, I had to make them believers, you know, because as a kid, I didn't have the best grades. I wasn't trying to go to school. And when I was at school, I wrote raps, you know what I mean? That's all I did. And I have homies to this day that trip on me because like, bro, like all you did was write raps and this is what you're doing. Like they trip on that shit, you know, because I told people early on, bro, what I was going to do with my life, you know, and even through all the struggles and trials and tribulations, I just kept this close to me. Because at points, this was all I had, you know, this was the only identity I had on this earth, because I wasn't good at school. I wasn't good at sports. I wasn't good, you know, being an office worker and, you know, being told what to do so like I really had to scribe and carve my lane in this shit, you know what I mean, and prove to people that I loved, that I knew seeing my best interest, because the last thing you want to do is see, you know, your child or your friend or your loved one see heartbreak through something that they put so much effort and a time into, you know. You don't want to see that. So I understand that, you know, I understand that aspect to it, how people would see the fear for me and they would see the obstacles and shit that I would have to go through, you know, just to become who I wanted to be in life. And I feel now, man, I can really show and prove, you know, I can show them the accolades and I can show them, you know, I'm getting book shows, I'm getting feature money, like I'm actually doing this, and this is how I feed my family, you know, and even that aspect is hard to let other people know in this shit, you know what I mean? Because they see it, you know what I mean? They see that this shit could be attainable, you know what I mean? And it's just hard to differentiate the respect aspect to it when this is your job, you know, like this is how I eat, this is how I feed my family. So when people hit me up, you know, to hop on songs and do shit for free and shit like that, you know, like if it's my people, you know, you know, I'll make an exception and shit, you know, depending who it is. But at the same time, you know, they have to come with respect as well, because it took years, you know, like I said, to carve my name in this shit for other people to want to fuck with me. So, you know, and there's a reason why people want me on their songs, because they see all the work that I'm doing, and people are actually, you know, tapping into my shit. So, but at the same time, it's like, bro, like, you know, it takes money, it takes time, it takes, you know, sacrifice, not only from myself, but from other people as well, to create this whole shit, you know? So it's like, man, like, they got to come with respect, and it took years, man, to really gain that shit, man, from not only my loved ones, but from other artists other individuals in this game, you know. So with that being said, man, you know, yeah, man, you know, it's a trip, dog, to really be able to say that this is what I do, you know, this is what I do. Because for years, you know, people would ask me, "That's good. Are you making money?" No. All right. Well, holler at me when you're making some money, you know, or holler at me when this is happening or this is happening for you, because it's easy to tell people what you're gonna do, but it's another thing to show people what you're gonna do, you know. And I think that's what I've always done, is show people what I'm gonna do, man. You know, and I'm always a man of what I'm gonna do, because I'm always gonna man up to what I'm gonna do, because I feel like that's the only obligation we have on this earth, bro, is to show and prove. You know what I mean? And you know, to be able to say I'm XP the Marxman and motherfuckers know me from where I'm from and other places, man, it's a, you know, it's a blessing, but it's also a curse as well, because, you know, you don't want the wrong attention at the same time.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
I mean, I'll definitely say, like, I've been fucking with you for about 2 years now since I created this channel, and
right,
see your growth just even over the last couple of years with your projects. I always check them out when you drop.
that's what's
And
up, brother. I appreciate
you
that,
were,
man.
I want to say it was you and Oside Blaze were like the only two people I had checked out from California when I
Right.
started like searching for artists that were underground to hit up. So it's really dope to see like how far you've come and like the steps you've made and the
Thanks,
time and
brother. I
effort
appreciate
you
that.
put in are like starting to pay off for you.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. And like I said, dude, it's a thing of, I get inspired, and in return, I inspire as well. So it's a revolving energy that is constantly moving back and forth. You know what I mean? Um, with that type of energy that we get from the music, you know, I've been seeing this shit from all aspects, man. Like, I'm seeing it from the promotional aspect of, like, you know, people having to book people to, um, you know, being the artist, you know, that's being booked, to helping with graphics, to helping with dressing rooms, to, like, I'm seeing this shit from all aspects, man. And I've humbled myself so much when it comes to the players that play this game, that make the MVP player look good. You know what I mean? Because it's not just one dude that does this, man. It takes a fucking team. And I keep screaming that shit, and I always scream it because, you know, it's always the little guys, man, that get overlooked. You know, it's always the dudes that do the thing that looks small, but it's the fucking missing fucking puzzle piece to make the overall picture. You know what I mean? And I feel that seeing it from all those aspects, I come into this game humbly. I come into this game straight from the heart, straight from the spirit. There's no ego attached to this shit. It's all raw energy, raw skill. And, you know, when people meet me, man, I'm a cool motherfucker, and it's, you know, far to none to catch a motherfucker out there that, you know, doesn't like me. And if he doesn't like me, I don't know about it. You know what I mean? And if, you know what I mean? And it's just it's the energy that you carry around yourself, and the energy you emit. I think you receive that energy back, and you know, you come across shit sometimes where shit is kind of sketchy here and there, but, you know, you remove yourself and you keep it moving, man. You know, there's no need to combat in this lifestyle, bro. In this life, I would say, no reason to combat. You just let shit move and flow, and you put yourself where you need to be, and you work hard, bro. You work your fucking ass off, bro, and that's it. That's all you really got to do at the end of the day, man. And coming up, man, has been hard, but like I said, it feels good, man, to be able to get the recognition that I'm receiving nowadays, because I think as an artist, that's all you truly want, is just respect. And I think with the respect comes everything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, I'll say to like your point, and I'll bring up somebody in the comments brought it up. I had wrote it down to ask about, but you recently found out DJ Premier has thrown one of your tracks onto the radio and he plays
Right.
your music. That's a pretty huge accomplishment, man, because like that's not like just a local radio station. That's a Sirius XFM.
Bro, I ain't gonna front. Like when that shit happened to me, man, like I shed a tear, bro, because you know I sat in my room and I'm just like, fuck, man, all these years, all these times of closed doors and opportunities that, you know, I missed, and certain shit that didn't transpire the way I thought they would transpire, man. Like when I seen that clip, I just felt like I'm on the right path. You know what I mean? And it just, because, you know, like I said, as an artist, bro, like you're constantly going through shit in your head. Am I doing this right? I'm lacking on this. I need to do this. I need to do that. You know what I mean? And it's like when shit like that happens, it just really solidifies the fact that all those moves you made are getting you to the places you need to be, man. And it just really secured that with me internally, because I'm not battling anybody out here, man. I'm at constant battle with myself. So if I could prove that shit to myself, then I could prove it to anybody. You know what I'm saying? So that was a moment in time where I just, you know, that was my moment in time that I snatched, bro. You know what I mean? And I'm proud of that shit, bro. And no one could take that away from me. No one handed that to me. No one, you know, I didn't fucking have to fucking pay somebody to hand it to Premiere to get my shit played. That was all hard work, grit to get my shit to the man. You know what I'm saying? To the man that I feel any MC out there, for DJ Premier to touch your shit, scratch your shit, and put, you know, DJ Premier, like, that's what all of us MCs want, man, is we want that respect. You know what I mean? We want that.
Yeah.
We want that notoriety from the people that know hip hop. You know what I mean? That created this shit. We want that head nod from them, you know, and we could keep moving, you know. And that really helped me, man. And it wasn't an ego boost at all. It was a spirit boost, man. It just helped me put shit in perspective. You know what I mean? Real talk.
To what you were saying earlier, like the radio shit is, and like compared to like the underground, I've always said, like, sure, like some of the guys that get played on the radio constantly, these hit makers and stuff, like the music's dumbed down because of where we're at in today.
Right.
Attention spans aren't what they used to be, which is also to what you were saying with back in the day, an artist could drop an album, not have fucking drop for 2 to 3 years because people were still playing the stuff.
Yeah.
Now it's drop an album, people expect another one in a few months, and I kind of think that's where like Kendrick and J. Cole, they've adapted. They grew up with the 90s style of you dropped an album, you didn't drop for another few years. You made people soak in what you put out.
That's facts, bro. And honestly, I think artists like J. Cole, Kendrick, and artists like that, they kind of missed that whole thing of like music in your hand right now. Like they kind of already blew up as like the MySpace, the Facebook, the YouTube was on the rise. So they kind of left that shit in the dust. Like utilizing those platforms as a means to become an artist. You know, like it was a different time. You know what I mean? Now, like you said, it's like, you know, like I said, when I dropped the Pacific Standard Time, I was like, fuck, like I already got a follow up. You know what I mean? I already got some shit in the stash. Like, so I'm like, what should I do? I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna let this shit bubble up a little bit. And honestly, what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna help other artists with the rollouts of their projects that I'm fucking with, you know what I mean, that are on my team. So I'm gonna really hone in and put energy into that, you know, because I have shit, you know, I have you know, collabs with other artists that are gonna be dropping. I have you know, full projects with other artists here in the stash that I'm gonna get ready to release as well. So I just have shit that I kind of already have set in place. And what I want to really do now is just help, you know, my brethren get their shit out and get their shit played by Premiere and get their shit, you know, and you interview those fools, you know what I'm saying, and shit like that. Like that's what I want to do. I want to get my mijos up, you know what I mean? So that's where my head's at right now, man. It's just helping my brethren, but also, you know, keep letting people know that you know, I'm always gonna give them this shit that is always gonna be high caliber art. You know what I mean? Because at this point, there's just so much shit coming out that I feel that I have to set myself apart with the caliber of art that I release. That's the only way. Because if you're trying to out rap fools, good luck. If you're trying to outlook cool, you know what I mean, good luck. If you're trying to do anything other than put real shit out and real art and shit that has a meaning to it, you can't play in this field right now, bro. Because shit is being soaked up and spit the fuck out at a crazy rate that people need some shit that is gonna be of significance and is gonna embed itself into their heads, that I'm gonna wait for this fool's next shit, or I'm gonna, you know, and that's what I want to create, and that's what I've been creating through this time, I guess. So yeah, man, that's my next moves is to really help my brethren, because you know, I feel with the album that I just dropped, I feel people need to really, you know, soak that one up, because that's just what it is. I'm representing for the coast, man, you know, and I feel there's a lot of fools out there that are like sleeping on that shit, you know, that are out here, you know, that are people of significance, you know, they're sleeping on me, man, and it's cool though, because I see these fools everywhere. I see these fools at concerts, I see them at places, and you know, I'm not expecting anything from them, but I am expecting respect. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm gonna get, regardless of anything. I'm gonna get my respect, and you know, whether you fuck with my shit or not. You know what I mean? So yeah, bro. You know, I'm gonna keep hitting these fools, dog. That's one thing. I'm Mexican, bro, so we work hard at everything we do. So that's one thing that I'm gonna bring to this rap game, is this Mexican work ethic of just killing these fools in all aspects, in every aspect, bro, of releasing music, of how it looks, how it sounds. Even with my live show, bro, like, see, and that's one thing, man. That's one thing I want all the supporters to know, is like, the music is good, but if you could catch my live show, please show up and catch my live show, because that's one thing that I take to my heart and I take into consideration, man, is my live show, because not a lot of people could keep up with me in that arena, bro, and that's just fucking facts. And I'll put my live show up against any headliner that is getting paid for the night, and that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? Because I keep my shit on. I practice. I know what songs hit. You know what I mean? I like, literally, man, like, I before I perform, I have to take off the day before and after, because there's this mode that I get into. I get into Marxman mode, and nothing else. I can't deal with anything else. I'm practicing, I'm honing in. So when I hop on that fucking stage, homie, I'm blazing that shit, bro. And that's a fact. Like, and so if you could catch a live show out there, man, anybody, come through, check out the live show. You know what I mean? There's a lot of aspects in this shit to become an artist, and I feel like I feel every category, bro. And I don't really toot my horn like that, bro, but I'm doing it now, because I see fools out there like trying to say that they doing this, they doing that, but there's a lot of things that I feel that I do that they can't fuck with, and they're not giving me the time of day, you know. So they're gonna get it either way, whether they fuck with it or not, like I said. So, and that's just what it is at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You had brought up your live, talking about your live shows. You perform with a bulletproof vest on, and you've recently posted that if you see the vest, you know shit's gonna go down. What made you decide to start rocking the vest during sets?
Well, I guess it goes with the feng shui of shit, like the whole, you know, aesthetic of, you know, being the Marxman. And those vests, they're not bulletproof, but they're just cool leather vests that I acquired off of a leather maker. I seen one, and then I pulled up. He said, I have another one. So I was like, I copped them both. And then, you know, I kind of hold that, the whole indigenous shit close as well too, bro, because I'm from this land, dog. Like, my family is from here, so I feel like holding that indigenous aspect to who I am. I'm a Chicano, man, and I fucking hold that shit close to my heart. I put that shit in my music. I call everybody mijo. I call everybody, fool, whether I'm on the east. Like, I just hold that Chicano shit close to my heart, man. And I feel like carrying the vest on stage and having that whole aspect to who I am, letting people know, because it's almost like switching into Clark Kent, you know what I mean, and into the Superman suit, and that's pretty much what it is. It's letting people know that this is who I am. I'm the Marxman, and I'm letting everybody know that I'm a child of the sun. You know what I'm saying? Aztec King. You know what I'm saying? And I'm here to play ball. I'm fucking here to, you know what I'm saying? I'm here to fight that good fight, man, and let people know that there's levels to this shit. You know what I mean? There's levels to, being an artist, man. And if, you gotta, Doom had the mask. Certain artists had shit, Run DMC had the Adidas, certain artists are bringing shit with them, showing people who they are and how they do it. So I think having that was exactly what I was doing. What Run DMC did, what Doom did, and certain artists out there that carry items with them, so it embeds it in their head that when you see that shit, it's Marxman time. You know what I'm saying? It's game time. You know what I mean?
I feel that. Yeah, I mean, I guess like 50 Cent was like the same way. He had the actual bulletproof vest before he did it. Shows.
I've seen a few cats do it too, man. Like, I ain't the first one. I definitely ain't the first one, but I feel it goes with who I am. I'm the Marksman, and I gotta have areas that are holding extra clips, holding, at like certain shit, because I'm gonna be firing, bro. So that's just all that was. You know what I mean?
I feel that. What artist would you say kind of like influenced your style? Was it the Tupacs? Was it the Wu-Tang? Like, what artist would you say kind of influenced your style the most?
Well, I'm a bastard child, man. When it comes to this hip hop shit, like I'm a product of a million MCs, 1,000 MCs, man. I feel like I've absorbed so much from artists that were here and that are no longer here too. Like, I'm a Big Al baby. I'm a Wu baby. I'm a Big baby. I'm a Tupac baby. I'm just like a product of just all this shit. You know what I mean? And I think when people hear my shit, they're like, you're not from the East Coast? And they trip out on that shit, because at the end of the day, I'm just upholding real skill of hip hop. And I think if that's what makes me sound East Coast, then cool. But I'm constantly putting this West Coast shit in there, bro. Like that's one thing I'm always gonna do, is just put feed this West Coast Chicano shit through my music. And I think with being a product, a fan first, and then a product of just real good artistry, it just, it soaks out of me now, bro. And like I said, I'm a sponge to a lot of shit. So I like to listen to shit that has already been done in a context of being inspired, and then I get that energy, and then I recreate it, and then I re-release that shit out. You know what I mean? That's the best way I could really give people a picture, vividly of how I do my shit. Because honestly, like I said, I don't listen to new shit unless it's my people shit or something like that. I don't listen to the radio. I don't listen to anything. It just has to have meaning, and I feel. Being a bastard MC of just all these artists, man, it creates XP. You get the West Coast Mexican Chicano MC that sounds East Coast. And I spit real street reality rap shit. I could also harmonize and sing on shit. So I'm just a product of just the 90s and holding that shit, but not, being a bigot about younger artists and new cats. Like, to each their own, man. I just don't fuck with it.
Yeah.
But that's just what it is. And I'll give any artist inspiration, man, to do them, but at the end of the day, you want to make shit that is going to last forever, so do the right thing.
So I got our first game here. Yeah, I had you give me some artists.
Oh shit, yeah.
And I have their albums wrote down. I will most likely probably stick with their older stuff, just because I'm more hip to the older stuff. That way I can converse with you on it. We'll start with Gangstar. We've got No More Mr. Nice Guy, Step in the Arena, Daily Operation, Hard to Earn, and Moment of Truth. How would you rank those from your favorite to least favorite?
That shit's hard, man. Like Six, I came into Gangstar a little late, and it was more like on the Hard to Earn era. And I guess coming into that era, I really had to do my research, on a lot of shit. You know what I mean? So I feel now I'm gonna say Hard to Earn is gonna be the introductory one, because that's like, that's the one that I kind of grasped onto, and then it led me into the history of them. You know what I mean? So honestly, man, after that, I can't really say that I have a favorite, because I soaked up all of them at once, I would say. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, I waited for this to drop. And then I guess when, Guru got, separated from Premier, I kind of just, I tuned off a bit, because, I was a Gangstar fan, and I guess after that, it wasn't really hitting like it was, you know what I mean? So I kind of fell off the Gangstar train, as you would say. But yeah, man, I feel like after Hard to Earn, I can't really place any other album after that, because, like I said, it kind of dwindled after that for me. But man, that's crazy, man, because a Guru's in my top 5. Like, that's one of my top 5 MCs, and he wasn't the most intellectual and punchline MC, like, wow factor, but the shit he said and the way he said it just, bro, like, I could still hear, one of the tracks that I could hear to this day, man, that I get chills is a Take It Personal, because I feel like he was in a bag where I feel if anybody plays that shit, they could apply it to their life at that moment. Anybody listens to it, whether they're a corporate motherfucker or they're some fool from the hood that's slinging on the block. Like, you listen to that song and you're like, take that shit personal, man. You know what I mean? Like, because it's just the soundtrack to a straight hustler, bro. Like, that's the soundtrack to a hustler right there. Facts.
Next, we got Snoop Dogg.
We could go. All right, go for it.
We'll go. We'll do his first 5 albums. We'll do Doggy Style, The Dog Father, The Game Is to Be Sold, Not to Be Told, No Limit, Top Dog, and The Last Meal.
So I'm gonna go with Doggy Style, and then you see, we could go with I like The Last Meal too, because when I was growing up, that was the shit that was out. So we could go with Top Dog, The Last Meal, and then you see, after that, what was the last 2?
The Dog Father and
The Dog Father,
Game Is
and
to
then
Be Sold.
The game is to be sold. Yeah. So like, yeah, I think the Dogfather was ill too. Snoop Dogg, yeah, like that. Yeah, but I feel like the era that I kind of grew up in was, the Doggy Style era, and then like the No Limit era was ill too. I felt because he was on a tirade because he just fucking disbanded from Death Row, and he was really trying to prove that he made the right choice. You know what I mean? So I feel like
Yeah.
there was a little bit of a conviction in Snoop when he dropped that. You know what I mean? So there's a little bit of crazy energy in that No Limit shit. He's rhyming over different beats too. So yeah, that shit was kind of crazy.
I can't disagree with you on that. So then we got Wu-Tang. We'll do Enter the Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers, their Forever album, The W, Iron Flag, and then Wu-Tang meets the indie culture.
Oh, sick. All right, so let's do 36 Chambers, Wu-Tang Forever, and then I'm gonna throw the Wu-Tang meets the indie culture right after that, because the W was kind of like, it was cool. There was a few joints, but that's when they started, they weren't.
Going the right way.
Yeah, and that's when like the solo albums were like way iller than like the group albums and shit. So yeah, so that's how I'm gonna go with that. Because the Wu-Tang meets the indie culture. I don't know if you know, but I actually grew up listening to that album, and Dreddy Kruger actually hit me up to be on a part 2. So I'm actually on, part 2 of Wu-Tang meets the indie culture. Facts.
Shit.
I got a track with the Killer Priest on that shit. Yeah, Rome Streets is on that shit. Etho's on that shit. So it's pretty much up and coming artists that the homie Dreddy he puts with like Wu-Tang artists. So yeah, man, the shit is ill. Like he kind of coordinates that shit. So yeah, man, I was able to rap my ass off and be able to hop on part 2. But I don't think it's called Wu-Tang meets the indie culture. It's called I think, or something. Yeah, some shit like that. Something.
I wonder if I can find it real fast. Yeah, 36 Chambers, though, that album, to me, falls into the category of what a perfect album is. Like,
Right.
that album is probably one of my top 5 hip-hop albums of all time.
Right. Yeah, that shit just carries what underground hip-hop is. It just has the essence of raw shit. Raw beats, raw raps. Fucking, there's like 12, how many fools are in that shit? Forgot how many fucking members are saying right now, bro. Off top, these 12.
Let's see. The original members are RZA, GZA, ODB, Method Man, Raekwon, Ghostface, Inspector Deck, U God, and Master Killa.
So there's not 8. So
that came later.
Oh yeah, that's 9. True. And then yeah, so I think having all them fools on some shit like that, bro. Like they're all from different areas of New York and shit. That was amazing. That energy right there lasts forever. That album lasts forever. That's a fact.
And then lastly, we got Tupac.
Right.
I didn't write any of the posthumous. I think Are You Still Down is a posthumous album, but I mainly stuck with the ones that came out while he was alive. We've got Tupacalypse Now, Strictly 4, Me Against the World, All Eyes on Me, Are You Still Down, and then I also threw in the Don Killuminati 7-Day Theory.
So exactly how you said that order, that's exactly how I like his whole fucking catalog. Facts.
Huh.
Facts. Like the way he did it was perfect. Like he did it perfect. Like I'm still listening to Tupac now, I know homies that listen to Tupac now, and I still get inspiration from him to this day, bro, because he tapped in to some shit that all of us artists want to tap into, and that's our true selves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
True stories, true feelings, and he fucking hit that shit on the head, bro. Facts.
Who would you say has probably been one of your favorite like artists that you've got to collaborate with since starting all this?
My favorite artists, I would have to say, fuck. Everybody's different. People like to come, smoke, we get busy. People like to come, they get busy. Like, everybody has their own work ethic, but, we get to work. But I feel working with the homie Big Twin has been one of the most relieving aspects to working with somebody, because I feel working with an artist like Twin, he comes from Queensbridge, the grimy one. He's not too, fond of like shit having to be. I mean, of course, if it's there, then cool. But I feel like when I met him, I took him to where we recorded, which was like a grimy, garage, space, no air conditioner, and I kind of felt embarrassed, bro, because I'm thinking like it's Twin, he's with Mobb Deep, fucking, and we go in there, bro, and I was like, hey man, my bad, bro, this is where we record and shit. He looked around, he's like, bro, don't worry about it, like this shit is cool, like I don't give a fuck about that, as long as we can work, so he kind of really put the relief on me of like how shit really has to be in order to get shit done. Of course, you want to be able to record in a comfortable space where there's air conditioner and there's running water and like a bathroom you could piss in and shit in and stuff like that. But like I feel like there's been times where I've recorded with Twin and all that shit is out the window. It's just all about writing a good song, writing some ill shit. So I feel with recording with him, it really set the pace on who I wanted to work with and not really caring too much of how we get it done, but let's just get it done, basically.
Who's like an artist that you hope that you get to work with one day and like money's not an issue that would stop you from being able to get like a feature from?
I would say I would like to work with Gibbs. I would say, Freddie Gibbs.
Yeah.
I
get that.
I'd like to get something in with, a classic rock band, do some weird shit, you know what I mean? Red Hot Chili Pepper type shit. Some fools from Sublime, you know what I mean? Like just do some real ill shit. I would like to work with R&B singers. I would like to do a song with maybe Maya. That sounds kind of weird, right? Maya from the R&B days. Like I've always thought she was ill. You know what I mean? Because she always did like some ill hip hop kind of shit, and she's dope. So I feel like doing some shit like that. I feel like maybe doing some shit with like I feel like I want to do some Aerosmith and Run DMC shit, bro. Like I feel like I'm at the point in my career where I don't want to just pigeonhole myself to raw rap, because I have a lot more to offer, bro, as an artist. I could write fucking songs with singing hooks and do different shit. So I really want to challenge myself and shine in other aspects of me being an artist, and I want to be able to do that before I die. I'm 36. I'm not young, but I'm not old. I'm definitely feeling that shit in my bones now at this point. But I feel like I got a lot more years, man, ahead of me musically, to prove who I was ultimately here to be. So I feel like the fans and the supporters that support me right now, I feel like they're gonna, fuck with what I'm gonna do in the future, because I feel I'm always gonna hold their interest in mind, and that's just, being myself. And I feel like now I really want to tap into that, now that I'm growing as an artist.
I think a producer that I think would be able to like work with you and you guys would blend well together would be the Alchemist.
I would love to work with Alchemist, man. I would love to work with, DJ Muggs. I would love to work with Madlib. I would love to work with Large Professor. I'd love to work with Pete Rock, Ninth Wonder. Like, I would love to work with a high caliber producer sometime soon. I mean, I got Roc Marciano, but he's more known for the rap shit, and the beats are ill too, because that's his ear on that. But in terms of like Al and DJ Muggs and producers of that caliber, I think I'm ready for that, bro. I think I could bring some shit to the table that a lot of the artists that they've worked with prior to they're telling their story, and then I want to be able to tell my story too. And I feel like being able to link with a producer like the Alchemist or DJ Muggs and stuff, I would definitely be able to tell a different side. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I'm ready for those kind of opportunities for sure, bro. That's without a doubt.
What would you say has probably been like the hardest thing for you as an artist?
The hardest thing as an artist?
Yeah.
Is keeping the inspiration and the motivation alive, man. It's keeping the enthusiasm. It's keeping the spark alive, because as I said earlier, brother, it's hard to prove to people that this is what you do and that you're good enough to be able to be looked at as one of the artists that are worth being paid to do shows, get supported with your merch, get love with the streaming and stuff like that. So it's a constant workflow with this new era of wanting to rap, bro. It's not like it used to be. It's not like, just like I said, release an album, wait 2 years, and you're gonna have fucking 1 million fans waiting to support the next shit. It's not like that. You have to constantly be hitting these fools. And I guess I guess not being able to break early on when I wanted to, I guess it really prepared me for how things are done now. Because even back then when I thought it was gonna be my time, because as an artist you kind of have these little timelines in your head how shit should unfold, and you set yourself up for disappointment with that shit, because you're constantly trying to go by something you feel internally should happen, and that's not how shit happens. That's not how the book is written. You gotta wait for shit to unfold, but you gotta be prepared to meet that shit. And that's what I'm seeing now. There's a lot of opportunities that I'm receiving now that I'm ready for, bro. That I feel like I've worked my way up to be able to rise to the occasion now. Because I feel if I would have got that opportunity 2 years ago, a year ago, maybe even whatever, a few months ago, I feel I wouldn't have been in the position to receive that blessing or to receive that blessing. So I feel like now, with everything and who I've become and what life has fucking prepared me for, I feel like now I could really rise to the occasion of things. And when shit falls through, I don't sit back and be like, oh, that's it, and wipe my hands. I kind of just keep it moving. And as an artist, that's what you got to do, man. And I think that's the hardest thing as an artist, is getting over the timelines you have in your head of when shit should happen, and just keep working towards the vision, keep working towards the ultimate, vision, and use every blessing as a stepping stone. And I celebrate every fucking win, bro. I celebrate, like, we're doing this interview. I'm about to hop off. I'm about to roll one up, and I'm about to celebrate this aspect because, you know, who the fuck wants to know who I am, bro? Like, everybody has a busy fucking day. Nobody really gives a fuck. You know what I mean? So for everybody to take the time out of the day, you wanting to interview me, everybody that's tuned in, bro, it's like, you know, I take all that shit as a win, bro. And I think as an artist, you have to take everything, every opportunity as a win, see it as a win, because nothing too small can change your life, bro. You know what I mean? It could be this interview that somebody sees and I get booked off it, or, you know, I gain a new fan, you know. So every time there's opportunities, man, and I don't shit on any of them. I don't see anyone more significant than the other. Every opportunity is an opportunity to rise to the occasion to become who you were meant to be, man. So I feel, with that being said, dog, that's the hardest thing, man, is to keep the inspiration and keep the like I said, just, yeah, keep the motivation and enthusiasm, because you want this shit to be fun, bro. You know, like, and trust me, this shit is fun. It gets to a point where this shit is fucking fun, but it's work for it to be fun. You know what I mean? You can't just expect to, unless you're Jay-Z, motherfucker, and you're waking up in a fucking mansion and you're looking at your phone and you just made fucking millions of dollars, and if that brings you peace and happiness, cool, because, you know, that's where I want to be, and that's where I'm going to be. I'm going to be at a place where I'm waking up and I'm, you know what I mean, and I don't have these stresses and worries of, you know, financial shit and just shit that doesn't have anything to do with me. You know what I mean? So I feel like, you know, if you're not waking up every day like that, then you got work to do. I got work to do. You got work to do. We all got work to do, you know, until you're at a place where you feel that you're, you know, you're happy, bro. And I think as an artist, we just want to be revered and respected for what we do, and working towards that, you know, if it creates, you know, financial freedom for you, and if it creates, you know, a nice place for you and your family, then shit, I'm all for it, man. But that's not why I'm doing this shit, because this is all I had at one point, and this is all I still have. This is my identity. Like I said, I'm not good at a lot of things, bro. I'm a good father, and you know, I'm a good brother and you know, friend and shit like that. But this is me. This is what I put years and just everything, my all into. And I feel like now, you know, I'm ready for these opportunities. I'm ready to rock the stadiums. I'm ready to rock the stages, and I'm ready to meet my supporters too, man. Like, because as an artist, you know, you kind of struggle to see who's really with you, you know, because when you drop a shirt or like you drop a project, like, a lot of folks will be like, yo, that shit's ill, you know, that's dope. But like, as an artist, you want to see the support factor. Like, you want to see a person, you know, purchase your shit and get it mailed to their house, them take a picture with it, and you feel like, fuck, like, I got that support, you know. And I feel like I haven't really, you know, found my people yet. And I know they're out there, because, you know, there's motherfuckers supporting my shit every day, all day. But I feel like, you know, I need to connect with my people. I'm not a TikTok guy. I'm not even a go live guy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I'm an interview guy. Yeah, you know, I like to let people know who I am and what I've been doing. But, you know, I just want people to know, man, you know, all my supporters and just all my people. Like, I see y'all, man. I'm just not out there like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the flashy guy and designer. I got bills, homie. I got fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, I live this real life. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I've yet to, you know, be, how would you say, you know, discouraged. You know what I'm saying? Because I've dropped, you know, merch shirts and I'll get like 2 orders, but that don't discourage me, bro. Like I said, I gotta keep moving and keep showing people that I'm worth some shit to support. You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially in this fucking time and age, bro, because shit's being so, you know, motherfuckers will go out and spend, you know, $1,000 on some shit that looks like it's been worn already. Like, you know, Balenciaga shoes that look like the shit's been through mud, but they won't support a motherfucker from their own block that, you know what I'm saying, that has truly reached heights and continues to. And it's cool though, because I see it, bro. I see it. So when I'm at a point where I could buy those cheap ass fucking, you know, Balenciaga shoes for a few $1,000s, bro. I'm not gonna do that though. I'm not gonna go that route. I'm gonna put that money towards some shit that is gonna help myself and, you know, my team. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at right now with this shit, man. Like I'm really, you know, focused with it. I got my team behind me, and we about to take this shit to a whole new level, man. You know, we've been taking this shit to a whole new level.
What would you say has probably been the most rewarding for you as an artist?
Being able to rock a stage and be able to feel the energy of the crowd, and being able to show people that this shit is attainable. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people out there that, you know, they tell me that, you know, I inspire them and shit. And I feel like receiving those words, bro, is just like money, you know, because it keeps you moving as an artist, that you inspired others, you know, to either keep living, to keep doing what they love, to keep loving hip hop, you know. You know, they tell me that I uplift the culture and shit like that. Like when you hear words like that, like, you know, you're keeping the culture moving, like that kind of shit keeps you moving. And I feel like when you hear words like that for your hard work, that's what we do it for, you know. You do it for the DJ premieres to play your shit. You do it for these accolades that are more of like a personal thing, because with that, you know, comes the money and everything else. But, you know, I guess every artist has their own shit, but for me, it's to get the respect and to get the words I've inspired other artists, or you know, that's it, man. I'm a simple man, dog. Like I don't, you know what I mean? I just want fools to see what I do and respect that shit, homie. You know what I mean? And that's it.
Recently, you just did a song with Nug Life Productions. How did that end about?
My G Nuggy, yeah, man. That's my G. We actually performed at the Flea Lord show with Lord Mob out here with Underground Hip Hop Blog, and they killed it, man. And you know, I had heard about him, I had seen him, but we had never crossed our paths. But from that show, we started building and shit. And yeah, man, we have a few joints together. And who knows, in the future, you know, you might catch some shit with just me and him, you know, and me, him, and a few other cats. Who knows? But you know, we're always working together, man. And he inspires me because he's younger than me, and his work ethic is crazy, bro. Like I love working with individuals like him because he's constantly moving, bro. Constantly dropping shit, constantly in the lab, constantly has ideas, and you know, he's younger than me, so he keeps old dogs like me in the race. You know what I mean? So I consider myself old, bro. I'm 36, and I feel like I've been doing this shit for, you know, over 20 years, bro, trying to get my shit out, doing this shit independently, and I feel like, you know, now's, you know, I need a little bit of oil, you know, for my joints, but I'm still down, bro. You know, I'm still out here moving.
Yeah, I definitely think that it's
much love to my people out there.
Like what you're saying about, you know, being 36, you've been doing this 20 plus years now. A lot of people, like, if they start when you started at freshman year of high school, a lot of times by the time they hit 25, if they haven't seen any success, they give up.
Right, bro. I seen it, man.
You actually tried and kept going, and you've pushed yourself, and now you're starting to see the success from DJ Premier, playing your music, to working with guys you idolize like the BeatJunkies. And then you also performed at the Back to Basics event. I don't know if it actually happened yet, but you're on
yeah, man. Yeah, man. I've been rocking a lot of shows out here in LA, man. I've been opening them up, you know, to being the first fucking dude that opens up the show to one of the headliner fools. You know what I'm saying? And now, man, like I said, bro, I feel like I'm ready, dog. Like I feel like to be able to be on lineups like that and not having to pay to play, not having to do all the extra shit that I used to have to do. I feel like now's the time for me to really show and prove all these years that I've put into this shit, you know? So every performance now, every live show is just, you know, I'm really trying to kill that shit. Like I'm really trying to leave that mic smoking, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, lately I've been doing a lot of live shows. As a matter of fact, I want to plug a show that I got in Tampa, Florida, going down November 12th with Big Twins and Big Noid. I'm co-headlining it, and it's called Infamous Night. We have some ill artists, you know, locally that are going to be on the bill, and then we got some artists that I've been building with out of LA. We got fools out of New York. So we're really putting together a team where, you know, fools are able to travel, you know, perform, make a little bit of bread, and you know, do it right, man. So yeah, dog, like I'm really trying to rock every show I can. I'm really trying to rock every show I can, but the shit really has to make sense, bro. Like I'm not trying to show up, do shit for free anymore. I'm not trying to pull up and you know, the sound system is shitty. Like I'm trying to show up to shit that's official, shit that's real, because I'm trying to rock stadiums, homie. I'm gonna rock me a fucking stadium before I die, bro. And I'm putting that shit out there right now. Like I'm gonna rock a fucking stadium, packed fucking people, because that's the energy that I'm gonna put out there, bro. Facts.
So the last game I got here, it's called This or That. I'll present two artists to you. You'll tell me which one you would put on your right to ride around or cruise to. I'm only going to give you the older artists, just since I know that that's more what you
yeah
into.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll start with G-Unit or Slaughterhouse.
That's a hard one. I like G-Unit. I like 50. I'm gonna go. All right, let's fucking go with let's go with Slaughterhouse. Just because the caliber of MC, because you know, like I fuck with 50 Cent. Like he's I've always been a fan of 50. I fuck with the game, you know what I mean? Yeah. I fuck with Lloyd, he's good. Banks, Tony, not so much. Like I never really, you know, tapped into, so, but I could say like Joel, I fuck with. Crooked Eye, I fuck with. You know what I'm saying? Royce, I fuck with. And Button, not so much on the rapping tip, but like I fuck with him as like a human being. You know what I mean? He's a real individual. So. But yeah, so let's go with that.
Then Nelly or Akon?
I like Akon because that fool did time and shit. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
That fool's a real one. And he helps others too.
We got DMX or Ja Rule?
Did you say DMX or Ja Rule, fool?
I did.
I gotta go with the fucking. I gotta go with DMX, bro. Like that, he's one of my top 5, bro. Facts.
Hey.
That's the real answer.
Jay-Z or Nas?
I'm gonna go with Nas, G.
I can't hate it, man. I try and put people that I know are hard decisions, and neither choice
I
is a
fuck
bad.
with Jay though. Like I fuck with Jay as a business, you know, mogul, and as you know, just who he is, you know, and you know, Reasonable Doubt is one of the most illest albums of all time. But I feel like Nas is that dude. Like Nas is like the epitome of reality street rap. you know, and even to this day, you know, like his last shit he just dropped was ill too. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
still fuck with Nas, bro, all day, bro. And I feel like, you know, he fucking ethered Jay, bro. So, you know, yeah.
Tupac or Biggie?
Come on, mijo. I gotta go with PAC all day, man. Pac is to me is the illest hip hop artist of all time. But that's just me. You
I
know,
mean,
that's just me.
I think obviously the younger generation, because I'm 29, so I'm not too far off in age, and Tupac was my introduction to hip hop.
Facts.
He's my brother's like favorite rapper of all
Dog,
time, artist.
like he's like my uncle's uncle, who's like a Vietnam vet. Like he don't even listen to hip hop. He's like, put that Tupac shit in, homie. Like he's all for it, you know. And it's like I think Tupac tapped into something that, like I said, like a lot of us human beings want to be able to tell our story, bro. And I think Tupac, he told a side of a lot of people's story, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think every person that listens to him, that's a fan of him, they they pulled something from it and they related to it. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, I just feel like you know, he really did something for hip hop and opened the door to, you know, be yourself and tell your fucking story, bro, and don't feel ashamed of it. And be, you know, and you ride this motherfucker out, you know, until you die, dog, and you know, be yourself until you die. And if, you know, expressing yourself and how you feel about shit is gonna get you killed, then that's what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying?
I like this question that was asked in the comments here. Chino XL or Crooked Eye?
I see that. What's good, my G? What's good? Shit. I'm gonna go with Crooked Eye, bro. I fuck with Chino XL too. Chino XL is the big homie, and he killed fucking, you know, the wake up shows, and he's, you know, he's done crazy shit. Like everything he touches, he kills. But I feel like Crooked Eye, with his, you know, death row history, and him being on that shit, a True Gangster for Radio. I think he fucking outshined on that whole album, bro. He was kicking some crazy bars on that fucking project. So I think growing with him through, you know, through that, you know, through the solo aspect to his career, to Slaughterhouse, I think I'm gonna go with Crooked Eye on that one for sure. Tech Nine, I'm gonna go with Immortal Technique, bro, because I feel like Tech Nine is ill for sure. He's in his own lane for sure. He's a crazy fucking businessman, and you know, he has his own empire, and you know, he's ill. But I feel like Immortal Technique touched on more of the indigenous aspect of who I am as a brown man. So I feel like I connected with him way more, you know what I mean?
Funny enough, me and my brother, who got me into hip hop at like the age of 9, we were just talking about Immortal Technique, and I gave Immortal Technique his props because I think it's Dance with the Devil.
Oh, bro, that's one of the illest hip hop songs of all time.
Yeah, it's like one of the best storytelling raps I've ever fucking heard.
That's facts. Oh shit, my homie hit me with, but I gotta go with Brother Lynch Hung, homie. Nigga nuts and guts all over my chest and stomach. Running to the left, twist me. Hey, bro, I used to bang the shit. Yo, I banged the shit out of fucking Brother Lynch Hung, bro. Like facts. Me and my older brother doing. We used to fucking play that shit. For Season of the Sickness. That album right there, bro. Fools have to really listen to that shit because that holds a moment in time in like 90s, you know, gangster rap from the West Coast, bro. If fools don't know Brother Lynch Hung, look him up. That fool's ill, bro. And I mean, I don't know if he's doing shit anytime. I haven't really heard from him, but that album right there is classic amongst like West Coast fucking gangster shit. Like, you know, West Coast gangsters know about that album. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Facts. Raz Kaz Method Man. It's a hard one too. Shit, I'm gonna have to go with. Shit, I'm gonna have to go with Method Man only because Raz Kaz, I feel like when he came out, I was already a Wu-Tang fan, and I think I got more absorbed with Wu-Tang at that time. So like checking out Razkaz, like I tuned in. He was dope. I remember the Golden Child, his shit that he did with DJ Premier and shit like that. So he had some joints, but I feel like Method Man was really, I was a fan of a little bit more because he had the joints with Wu-Tang, and I was more of like a Wu head, so that shit resonated with me more. But I know Raz, man, and now his kids are killing it, bro. Raz's kids is killing it, bro. They're fucking, they're part of that Coast of Contra shit now. So, I mean,
Yeah. I got an R&B one for you here. Keith Sweat or Luther Vandross?
oh, dude, I'm a Keith Sweat fan, fool. Facts. Luther Vandross is kind of like my dad's era. You know what I mean? I fuck with him. He has some joints, but like Keith Sweat was the man, bro. If R. Kelly never did the shit that he did, he'd be up there with fucking Keith Sweat, but he shitted all over everything that he did with doing that shit that he did. So
yeah, it's
him, whatever. He's he's where he needs to be. But I'm saying Keith Sweat is like one of those elite artists. Like me and my family listen to Keith Sweat crazy, and I feel like if you listen to Art LeBeau, like a lot of like the Chicano like people loved Keith Sweat because he was like all over like the Art LeBeau like fucking request lines and shit like that out here. So it was crazy, man. Like Keith Sweat was really in the Chicano household more so than any other R&B artist, I would say. If not like R. Kelly too, but like I said, that's on another note. You know what I mean?
Mobb Deep or UGK?
I gotta go with the Mob, son. I fuck with UGK too. My man Pimp C, rest in peace, man. But I'm a reality rap fiend, and Big Twins. That's my older brother. I met Prodigy before, rest in peace. Yeah, man, Mobb Deep all day.
Pusha T or Kanye?
I fuck with college dropout Kanye, so I'm gonna go with Kanye because I fuck with that fool more than I would say Pusha T. But fuck, I don't know, man. That's a hard one too because Pusha T lately, I like his shit way more than I do Kanye. But Kanye seems to be around that shit too, so he's like on the songs too. He's like producing shit too, so it's like he's like involved in it too. So yeah, I mean, I'll say Kanye.
Okay. We'll do E40 or Twista.
Twista, homie. Twista all day. I fuck with E40 too, man. It's crazy because you're putting fools up against him that I really listen to because like E40 was around and he had them joints, classic joints, but I resonated towards more of the shit that he was up against. It's crazy. Facts.
Do Royce the 5'9" or Benny the Butcher?
I'm gonna go with Benny. Only because the subject matter of what Benny's on is what the fuck my whole existence is based off of drugs and violence and gangs. So like I relate to more of that aspect over Royce just kicking immaculate shit, because he kicks some ill shit, but he's not really tapped in on the drug rap shit. You know what I'm saying? And like, I mean, he raps about it, but I don't feel like he resonates with me like that.
We got the Locks or Dipset.
Gotta go with the Locks, G. And I think when they did that live, you know exactly why, bro, because they do that real hip hop shit.
Yeah, I agree. We got Outkast or Wu-Tang.
Outkast or who?
Wu-Tang.
Oh, it has to be the Wu, man. Has to be the Wu. I fuck with Atlians too. That album was ill as fuck. That was an ill introductory album for them for sure.
We've got Eminem or The Game.
I'm gonna go with Eminem. On older Eminem, because and anything new, it's like he still raps good, like he still raps tight, you know. But I just feel like I don't know. I don't like the subject matter. I can't picture myself driving down the street listening to Eminem right now. That's not my shit. You know what I mean?
I like another one here. We got Sublime or Rage Against the Machine.
Ooh, that's a hard one. That's a fucking hard one, bro.
Yeah,
See,
I agree.
now,
That's why I needed to ask that one.
Now you're getting into some shit, bro. Fuck, bro. Fuck, that's hard, bro. Fuck, I'm gonna go with Sublime, bro.
You want Sublime?
Yeah.
I couldn't hate either option because I
Fuck,
love both artists.
That's a hard one because I have memorable days to, you know, both them bands, bro. You know, it's crazy.
Smoke Two Joints was probably fucking an anthem for me.
Nah, it's a fact, man.
Goody Mob or Bone Thugs and Harmony?
Coming up, it's tight round, fitting up, it's tight round, fitting up. Yeah, I gotta go with the Bone, bro. The Bone, man. It's Easter 99. Yeah, bro. That what was it? Was it Eastern 99 or what was it called? That first album?
Fuck.
Is it? I forgot what it's called. Yeah, that first album was sick, bro. And then these fools got a track with Biggie and Pac, bro. Come on now, bro. That's
they was on some shit, man. They kind of got fucked in their little verses they got put in. Faces of Death was their first album.
Okay, yeah. No, but they had a mainstream one, I think. After that, which was the
We got Eternal.
Yes,
1999 Eternal.
That's it. That's the one. Yep. That's fucking fire.
The last one I got for you, it does have a new. Actually, I got two more. I got T.I. or Ludacris.
I'm gonna go with Ludacris, bro. I like Luda. Luda always had enthusiasm. He always had and he had bar work too. He had metaphors. You know what I'm saying? I feel like T.I. was more hood and shit, and he was more of like trap. You know what I mean? He was more of like, you know, like a trap king and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, down south, you know, sound. But I feel like Ludacris could hop on some hip hop shit. I don't think T.I. could hop on some hip hop shit. You know what I mean? And flex like that. You know?
I agree. Then the last one I got does include a newer artist, but he's been around for a while. Got Young Dolph or Nipsey Hussle. I
gotta go with my man Nip, bro. I fuck with Young Dolph too because, you know, to me, they both, you know, kind of mirrored each other because, you know, they you know, come from shit. They come, you know, from nothing. They put others on. You know, they built something, and you know, their demise, you know, was like similar too. And but I feel like, you know, Nipsey being from the West, he told a little bit more about my side, and you know, I could relate a little bit more to that. You know what I mean? So I got to go with Nip on that for sure. It's a fact.
And then my next question for you is, I saw when I was going through your Instagram, you had a post of something you received from Snoop Dogg. It was like a file share, I believe.
Oh, word, yeah. I did some NFTs, man, with Death Row and shit. He did a mixtape through NFTs, which was like the first of its kind. So I was provided the opportunity to create the music that would be attached to the NFT. So I did exactly that, and pretty much it was like a submission, you know, kind of based thing. Like he liked the song, then he would use it. It wasn't like a guaranteed thing. So I got lucky, man, and I shot 3 joints in and he used them all. So what he did was he had NFTs that he had, and he just attached my song to the NFT, and they uploaded it and shit. And shout out to my man Figmento. He's the one that made that shit happen. Facts.
Damn.
Salute, my G. We in the building, man. Much love. My man Substance and shit. About to get busy on a joint, G.
What would you say is your idea of making it in the music industry? Is it the glitz and glam, or is it solely being able to like provide for your family off just making music and doing what you love?
I feel just being able to wake up to work, you know, like wake up and look in your email and you know, you got projects you're enthusiastic to work on that are going to lead you to a financial, you know, base where you'll be okay. Because I think when you come from where I come from, and a lot of us artists that are from the bottom, there's this shit that you grow up with called financial anxiety. And even when you're doing well in life, bro, it's just there's this cloud that fucking hangs over you that like am I gonna be good? Am I straight? Like even when you got, you know, thousands of dollars in a bank account, you're worried about you being okay. And I think me, you know, personally, I think if you could wake up in the morning without that, you know, financial anxiety of having to pay some shit, having a, you know, like, because a lot of people that I grew up with, we know that feeling. And then I know people that never grew up with that feeling, and they'll never know that feeling, which is a good thing too, you know, because, you know, my son, he'll never have to worry about not having food to eat tonight. He'll never have to worry about a lot of shit that I've worried about in my life, you know? So I think to create a lifestyle as an artist where your kids don't have to endure shit that you've endured and that you've felt, I think that's where you get that happiness of just being able to have the freedoms of the people that you saw growing up, the Christmases that you seen on TV, the fucking holidays that you would see in a movie with, you know, your family, a nice household, you know, food and love and abundance. Like, that's what you want to create as an artist, you know, for your household, is just for the people that you love to respect what you do enough to say that it's your job, and for you to wake up and create income off of it to say it's your job. You know what I'm saying? So that's ultimately what I feel an artist waking up is just happiness in what you do. You know, you don't want this shit to, you know, become unhappy and unfun. You want to be able to wake up like, yeah, I got a track with such and such popping. I got a track with this. You know, you want to be able to wake up with the enthusiasm like if it was your fucking, you know, first day on the job. You know what I mean? So, yeah, happiness in your artistry.
What would be some advice you would give to, you know, 9th grade you or some young kid trying to want to start pursuing making music?
Don't become something that we need, man. Become a doctor or like a fucking lawyer for like entertainment or something, you know? Because I feel like this shit is hard, man, and a lot of people are gonna be heartbroken. You know what I mean? Like there's people that get heartbroken every day, and they don't know who they are. They put so much into it, and I feel like I said, when I was that kid that wrote that rap, and people said it was dope, I wish they would have said that shit was whack, because then I would have fucking become something. You know what I mean? I would have put my time and effort into become something different. But nah, man, I don't hate on who I've, you know, become, and I don't look at, you know, my story as a bad one, man. Even though, you know, there was ups and downs, I just feel like kids nowadays, man, they see things as it's so easy to become it. It's so quick, you know. It's like add water and fucking mix, and you have a cake there. It's like, nah, man. Like, you gotta learn the history. You gotta learn the people that created this art form, give them their notoriety and their place in your mind, because I think a lot of us coming up, we lose track of who we are because we lost track of who the people that created this shit are. It's like, where do I find my place? And I think, if we learn it from the ground up and we create from the ground up, I think that's what puts us in those areas of success, is learning your job, the ins and outs of it, and learning it, and failing too. So, yeah, man, I feel like, up and coming artists, if you are already doing this, do your thing, take it to the top, do as much as you can for this shit, believe in this shit, because at times you'll probably be the only one that does. And to all the kids that are thinking about trying to rap, learn who rapped first, who DJ'd first, listen to shit that came out first before the artist that, you know what I mean? Like you have to learn where you come from in order to know where you're going, man. So learn that shit, respect that shit, love that shit, hone in on that shit, and take that shit to the next level, man. I'm not hating on anybody, man, but just learn this craft from the ins and outs of it, Facts.
My last question here I got is, what change would you want to see in your community?
In the hip hop community, or just where I live?
It's a question I ask everybody. It's just the community in which you stay, like your town.
I would like to see more food options, because it seems like all we got is like Mexican food around here. So I would love for somebody from the East Coast to bring some fucking Dominican food out here. Somebody from like Miami to bring some Colombian food and some Cuban food out here. Maybe some shit from Wisconsin, whatever they eat out there. Yeah, like I would love to see that change in my community. Nah, but on some real shit, there's hella homeless shit happening out here right now, and I'm an advocate for people that are on the streets. I try to help out as much as I can, and I just feel like, there's an epidemic of mental illness that stems from drug abuse, and vice versa. There's a lot of mental health that happens, and the only way to numb that is through drugs, and it's just this crazy, vicious like cycle that's happening in our communities out here in LA and even surrounding areas, and I feel like we don't have an answer for that. So I feel like, if there's anything that I would want to change in my community, it's how we deal with mental illness and how we deal with homelessness and how we see it, because a lot of those people aren't seen as humans. They're not seen as worthy of help. They're seen as just lost souls, but that's, someone's kid, that's someone's dad, that's someone's brother, sister, aunt. I just feel for that shit, man. And being homeless at a point in my life as well, I feel like, a lot of it is hurt and pain that is not being able to be dealt with. So you turn to drugs, and you turn to, self-medicating, self-pity, and self-humiliation and shit like that. You don't see yourself as a normal human being or as a part of society. So if there's anything that I would really want to tap into, man, it would be the homelessness around the world, man, But we got to start in our communities first, so.
Yep.
I mean?
Agree. We kind of already touched base on it. I usually go through everyone's discography, but I don't want to keep you much longer. So let's just kind of talk about your newest album, Pacific Standard Time. We've already talked on it a little bit, but what was like the writing process for you with that album? Meaning, knowing how much it meant, and it was a year and a half in the making because of COVID. What was like that writing process for you?
It was definitely exciting, bro. I felt like, having this opportunity to work with Rhett, I really wanted, to do my best. I wanted to show Rhett, and not only Rhett, but just people that seeing me hopping on a BeatJunkies beat or something that I was worthy enough to do it. So I felt super hype, man. I was hype doing this shit, you know, and I feel like the process of it, you know, with COVID stifling it a little bit, I feel like it gave me the energy coming back to it, knowing that I had to get it done because, you know, the shit was just, you know, sitting in there for like almost a year and a half. So I'm like, you know, I got to get this complete. So coming into it, man, I was super hyped, enthusiastic. I was, you know, I wanted to show and prove, and I wanted to tell, you know, my side of the mat, West Coast shit. So I feel like, you know, the process took a little bit of time, but it was the perfect time, you know, to, you know, release a project with these dudes.
I feel it, man. And it's a fire album. I've definitely enjoyed listening to it since it's came out. I haven't listened to the remix version yet, but
Oh, you gotta check out that
the
remix,
way you talked it
man.
up, I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
that brings us to a close. The floor is yours. Plug anything you got going on.
Sure, for sure, man. Yo, I just want to give a shout out to everybody that tuned in, and you know, they're continuing to support, including yourself and shit. You know what I mean? Just everybody that's ready for the next round and shit, man. And I'm gonna continue to give you my best. And if you guys want to check out anything that I got coming up, you can hit up the website. That's at www.xpthemarksman.com. And you're going to have my shows. I got releases, merch, everything up there right now. And if you want to check me out on the social media platforms, that's at XP the Marksman. And that's XPTHEMARXMAN. And I'll be around, man. You know, if I'm in your town, you see a show, come check it out, man. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. And we're going to be making our rounds here, there, everywhere. And I hope to see y'all soon, man, wherever you at. You know what I'm saying? Facts.
If you guys are watching on YouTube, when the final edit goes up, all of XP's links will be in the description. His Instagram, his Spotify, his Apple, his website will all be linked in the description. Make sure you tap in. Excellent dude, excellent MC.
Salute y'all, man.
Nothing but the best.
Hey,
I
man.
appreciate you coming on.
Y'all take care out there, man. Much love, G. Hopefully talk
Much
to you
love,
soon,
bro.
man. All right,
Take
brother.
it easy.
Peace.